What I find fascinating about ticks is really the tick-borne disease aspect of it. When most people think of infectious diseases, they think of influenza, respiratory diseases that we give to each other. Deer ticks are by far the best transmitters of tick-borne pathogens. Powassan virus, which is also called the deer tick virus, is highly pathogenic. It can be transmitted in as little as 15 minutes.
Tick-borne illnesses are predicted to spike this summer, and Powassan virus has been at the center of the media hype.
Experts are warning about a dangerous illness called Powassan virus.
Most people associate tick bites with Lyme disease, but they can also spread a more dangerous illness called Powassan virus.
It claimed the life of a woman in Maine.
Considered worse than the more studied Lyme disease, Powassan virus can lead to symptoms that range from flu-like illness to memory loss, and in some severe cases, death. Between 2006 and 2014, there were 70 reported cases of Powassan virus. During that same time, there were almost 228,000 confirmed cases of Lyme disease. Because the virus is more rare than Lyme disease, doctors still don't fully understand it. Dr. Rafal Tokars designed a test to check for Powassan in ticks.
Powassan has not been really tested for in most tick surveys. There's still very little known about it, and it's important to know whether this virus is present and at what frequency, at what rate. Is the rate in ticks 1%, 10%, 15%, because that will directly correlate to the risk of infection.
Vice News accompanied Dr. Tokars on a tick gathering trip in the field to find out just how frequent the virus really is.
So this is a tick drag that I actually made back in grad school, and this is what we use to collect ticks. You go to an area where you think ticks are, and you drag along vegetation. Ticks, usually in the morning, they can sense light. They come out and wait for anything to brush by. That could be an animal, human, anything. They will grab onto this piece of cloth, and then you can just basically pick them off. This is an adult deer tick. Deer ticks, as far as we know, can transmit the most diverse group of pathogens. They're the main transmitter of the bacteria that causes Lyme disease, agent of anaplasmosis, babesiosis, Powassan, and a few others. These are diseases called vector-borne disease. These are diseases that are transmitted by another living organism. So they have to pick up an infection from one host before they can transmit it to another, and it's all blood-borne.
With our vial filled with ticks, we headed back to the lab, where the ticks are either ground up and tested immediately or frozen for future testing.
People want to know whether the ticks that live in their backyards, what pathogens they have, what diseases they can acquire from them. And assays like the ones that we've designed allow us to quickly and simultaneously test for all these pathogens. Very often when people collect ticks, they usually test for one, maybe two pathogens. We wanted to put together a test where we will test for the 5 main pathogenic agents that are found in deer ticks. The work that we've done and that others have done has shown that this virus is rare in ticks. We've detected the virus, but it was always present at about 1% of the ticks that we screened. It is something to be careful of, it is something to be aware of, but it's also not as frequent as one may think.
Dr. Tokars hopes that by using the data from his test, doctors can better diagnose patients who are experiencing symptoms of tick-borne illnesses.